University of Adelaide researchers have uncovered fundamental new information about the malting characteristics of barley grains. They say their finding could pave the way to more stable brewing processes or new malts for craft brewers. Published in the Nature publication Scientific Reports, the researchers discovered a new link between one of the key enzymes involved in malt production for brewing and a specific tissue layer within the barley grain.
The power of the sun, wind, and sea may soon combine to produce clean-burning hydrogen fuel, according to researchers. A team integrated water purification technology into a new proof-of-concept design for a seawater electrolyzer, which uses an electric current to split apart the hydrogen and oxygen in water molecules.
New research identifies a process that might have been key in producing the first organic molecules on Earth about 4 billion years ago, before the origin of life. The process, which is similar to what might have occurred in some ancient underwater hydrothermal vents, may also have relevance to the search for life elsewhere in the universe.
Injury or disease that afflicts a relatively small number of brain cells causes a chain reaction that stops activity across a vast network of neural circuits, according to new research. The study may help to explain why people can suffer from temporary but severe loss of cognitive function in cases of traumatic brain injury or disease.
Researchers have discovered a brain molecule that functions as a thermometer for the presence of others in an animal's environment. Zebrafish feel the presence of others via mechanosensation and water movements, which turns the brain hormone on.
Researchers have found a novel form of the Alzheimer's protein tau in the fluid surrounding the brain and spinal cord. This form of tau, known as MTBR tau, indicates what stage of Alzheimer's a person is in and tracks with tangles of tau protein in the brain.
The evidence for the harmful effects of alcohol on brain health is compelling, but now experts have pinpointed 3 key time periods in life when the effects of alcohol are likely to be at their greatest.
Researchers used the Frontera supercomputer to model for the first time a black hole merger of 2 black holes with very different sizes, 128 to 1. The research required 7 months of constant computation. The results predict the gravitational waves such a merger would produce, as well as characteristics of the resulting merged black hole.
Almost 200 years after French physicist Jean Peltier discovered that electric current flowing through the junction of 2 different metals could be used to produce a heating or cooling effect, researchers say it is time to step up efforts to find new materials for the thermoelectric cooling market.
Was burial of the dead practiced by Neanderthals, or is it an innovation specific to our species? Researchers have demonstrated, using a variety of criteria, that a Neanderthal child was buried, probably around 41,000 years ago, at the Fluency site, Dordogne, France.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.
The audio, which includes more than 1,000 separate data files, was captured in the early 1970s by the late Hetty van der Wright. She recorded the various screams, barks, and how calls made by a group of chimps, including 17 youngsters living in the Gombe National Park in Tanzania.
A total of 5 ozone ascents were taken at Parati Station, Indian Mission, Antarctica, from April to June 2016. As the stratospheric temperature reduced to minus 82.24 degrees Celsius on 20th June 2016, indicating the formation of stratospheric clouds, leading scientists at Parati Station feared that Montreal Accord has not succeeded to control the emission of ozone-depleting gases in the atmosphere.
How quickly this occurs depends on the dynamics of fertility, mortality, and overseas migration. While a moderate pace of demographic change allows for gradual adjustment of the economy and policies to the changing population demographics, rapid changes are more difficult to manage. As a result, governments and society as a whole may need to take actions to address these issues.
Sleep behavior is also known as sleep disorder. People with sleep disorder often talk or walk in their sleep. They are not aware of what they are talking about or where they are going. There isn't any serious effect on body in general, but it may be connected to the mental health. People with childhood traumas, unspeakable problem, or depression are the ones with different sleep behavior.
The terms summary and abstract are often used interchangeably, resulting in some confusion. This problem arises because there are two distinct types of abstracts, descriptive and informative. The informative abstract is another name for a summary. The descriptive is not. The descriptive abstract is usually only 2 or 3 sentences in length. Hence, it is not a summary or very informative.
Deaf children learning a sign language could certainly pursue the development of listening and spoken language skills if desired, and doing so would carry much less risk knowing the child would have mastery in at least one language. If a child does not succeed in mastering either a spoken language or a sign language, we must then ask how much benefit the child derived from interventions in each language, relative to the amount of time and resources dedicated to those interventions.
The slight decline in drug overdose deaths in 2018 coincides with Chinese regulations on the powerful opioid carfentanil, rather than the result of domestic U.S. efforts to curb the epidemic, a new analysis reveals. What many, including President Donald Trump, perceived as a decline in overdose deaths in 2018 appears to be a return to the historic exponential curve.
European wildcats, thought to be extinct 50 or so years ago in the Jura Mountains, have since recolonized part of their former territory. This resurgence in an area occupied by domestic cats has gone hand in hand with genetic crosses between the two species. A team of biologists modeled the interactions between the two species to predict that hybridization will entail the irreversible genetic replacement of wildcats.
Using an X-ray laser, a research team has investigated how water heats up under extreme conditions. In the process, the scientists were able to observe water that remained liquid even at temperatures of more than 170 degrees Celsius. The investigation revealed an anomalous dynamic behavior of water, which is of fundamental importance for the analysis of sensitive samples using X-ray lasers.